Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to kind of give you guys more insight on my style. Sorry, you could see my cat's tail. This is Smog. He's a big boy. He's our tuxedo cat. He's purring so loud right now. He's a tough cat. He's very determined and he loves his food, but he's a sweetheart also. Anyway, off topic. Today I wanted to make an interesting kind of video, kind of telling you guys, I have a list, telling you guys ways that I try to incorporate the Montessori method in my son's life at least every day. And these things are free. They're no cost. I mean, you can always, some of the things that I'm gonna mention, you can always buy tools to incorporate this in your everyday, but you really don't need them. I think a lot of people have a misconception of Montessori being a very expensive way of life, and it's not way of life, but way of teaching your child, and it's really not. I've purchased things that help his everyday with that has to do with Montessori, but honestly most of the things is really whatever comes from the parent or the guardian, the child's guardian. So it really has nothing to do with, like, you really don't have to buy things. I mean, yes, if you're interested in having a Montessori lifestyle for your child, then yes, you do need to try your best to have things be more natural. But for myself, I'm not the type of person to completely cut things off of my life. Like, for example, I mean, unless they're toxic things, then definitely, you know, but especially 2020. But what I'm saying is that my son has a lot of toys that have batteries in them. There's just no way that I'd be able to keep that from him. And honestly, that was just my preference. I felt like it was just going to be way too drastic, too just time consuming and draining for myself. I just want to make sure my son is happy, confident, curious, and most importantly, he feels loved, secured, and safe. Like, those are the most important things that I want my son to feel. And Montessori is based on trying to raise a capable and independent child. That's really what the focus on Montessori is. And that is really what attracted me to Montessori, because when I was young, my mom was very good at giving me that confidence that I could do anything. And she instilled that in me since I was really young. I always remember being able to, if I was hungry, I can make my food. And you know, if I wanted to dress a certain way, no problem. So I just felt like she gave me that confidence. So basically that's why, another reason why I decided to do that was because I felt that that's what I wanted to give my son. So that's really the base of what made me choose, you know, this method. This isn't the only method that I'm doing. I'm majoring in child development. I hope to one day have a child care center. And if you're new here, and if you didn't know that, my name is Marilyn. I'm a mom of one, and I'm a stay-at-home mom right now that is going to school, majoring in child development, but I'm also a part-time reseller on Poshamrk, Mercari, and eBay. So that's my introduction for you guys. But anyway, off topic again. Yeah, that's one method that I try to use for my day-to-day with my son. Obviously, when he is being watched by anybody else, there are boundaries that are set, but I mean, honestly, because he's really mostly watched by family, I think we all have the same boundaries, so I have no problem with that. And anybody that has watched my son has done an amazing job. He loves him dearly, and I don't worry about it. I think the most important thing is that if you set your boundaries and you are consistent with your boundaries within your home, no matter where your child goes, they know that when they're in their home and they're with you, the boundaries stay. The boundaries have been set, and they could do whatever they want outside, but when they come home, that's what it is. So I am rambling. Let's get into the list of things that I do to try to incorporate Montessori lifestyle every day. Okay, so don't judge me. I have a list, and mom brain, if I don't look at this list, I will forget. I will ramble, and you'll be, 30 minutes into this, and I definitely don't want that. So the first one is simple choices. Simple choices mean literally what it means. I mean, what it says. Your child thrives on being able to make choices for themselves. Think about it. When you were a kid, I'm sure you remember coming home and just being fed what you're being fed, right? Okay. You also remember running out the door and you were given the clothes that you were given, and that's what you had to put on. Or your parents put on some TV and that's what you watched. I mean, every child, every day, all day, choices are being made for them. So when you add tiny little choices that they can make for themselves, that gives them confidence. It gives them like feel that they are somewhat independent, and they're gonna build on that. So for example, in the morning, I already know what I would like to have my son put on for the day, but if I do that, it's gonna be expected, and he's not even gonna think about it, and he's gonna feel like, well, my mom always gets my clothes, and that's fine. But I think that the sooner that you can get them to make their own choices, the better it's gonna benefit your child. So what I do is I give him two choices. So I give him two outfits that he can choose from, and he chooses them. And then if he likes to try and put his socks on, but obviously he doesn't have to. I mean, he's only 23 months right now, but he is trying, and he'll sometimes try to put his shirts on as well. Well, anyway, he's happy with choosing, and he gets excited. So he gets excited to choose his outfit of the day. And then another thing that I try to do is when he wants a snack, he just points to where the snack cupboard is, and then I'll grab two snacks, and he'll choose which one he wants. He's really excited about that. When it comes to screen time, the TV, or like on his tablet, or if we're at a if we're somewhere and he wants to see my phone, I'll give him an option also for that. I mean, obviously there are options that I approve, but he appreciates that. He gets excited for his choices. So when he puts on his shoes for the day, that's another thing. These are just very small day-to-day tasks, but you're giving them the option, and like I said, that's just going to build on their confidence. Another thing that I think is really important that you can do, and again is free, and you don't need to, I mean, you can buy things, but I don't think there's any need to, is to try your best to have everything at eye level. So I've shown you guys before my toy setup, and I'll actually show that to you guys. It's a mess right now. Don't judge me, but he just got done playing and he's taking a nap right now. But I try to keep everything eye level. So next to the door, my mom bought him the cutest little step stool it's like a little tractor, and it has a storage compartment. So right next to the door, whenever he wants to go out or whenever we're gonna go to the store, I'll tell him, you go get your shoes. Okay, there are 3 or 4 pairs of shoes in that box, in that step stool. So that means he gets to choose what shoes he wants to put on. Once he does that, he knows to take them out, puts them down, and sits on the stool. That was all him. Okay, he learned to do that when he was about 1.5 years. And then I go and I put his socks on if he hasn't already, and then I put his shoes on. And he's already has this, autonomy of being able to just get up, go grab his shoes, pick out what shoes he wants to wear, and then give them to me so that I could put them on. That is amazing, and that costs nothing. I mean, yes, we got that tractor step stool gifted to us, but I didn't pay anything. And another thing that I try to do is I have pictures of our family. I have pictures of him with every single family member, and I've posted them on the wall at eye level. I've also posted, actually hung bookshelves that are eye level to him, so whenever he wants, if he feels like he wants me to read him a book or he wants to do it on his own, he just goes up there, grabs them, and then sits down and reads them. Right now, that photo setup that I have that's eye level to him was so, like, it was key. Like, it was so important this past year, 2020, because we weren't able to see anyone for like the first, oh my gosh, I feel like 7 months of the year we weren't able to see anyone. So the fact that he had photos of every single one of his family members on the wall, he would point at them. I would tell them who they were to him, and he recognizes them as soon as he would see them in person. So that was something else that was really important. So I would try to do any artwork or any photos that you'd like to do on the wall at eye level. I can link actually the frames and the command strips that I use, because that's really all I did. If you don't want to have like all these holes on the wall, use command strips. They're amazing, and I use them for like anything that I can. The reason why I think that having things at eye level for them is another thing is it gains confidence, it gains independence, and it also gains autonomy. When you have this beautiful piece of artwork that your child made and it's all the way up top because you want to admire it, that's awesome. But imagine a little 2-foot child is trying to look up at that artwork and they can't. If you just have it at eye level to them, and it doesn't have to be artwork, it could be literally anything. It could be their toys, it could be just really anything. They're gonna be able to enjoy that, and I think that that's a big thing that a lot of people don't think is like, kids enjoy art as well, and pictures and anything that you do. So another thing that I think that is very important to include in your child's everyday life is the way you set up their toys. The reason why this also goes in with everything being eye level is that you want to be able to have all of their toys that you want to set out for them to be eye level and accessible, because they won't be so overwhelmed. They'll be more determined, and they'll use problem solving when choosing what toys they want to use. And if there is a certain toy that is a little more challenging to them, believe me, the first thing they're going to do when they wake up in the morning or from their nap time is go straight to that toy, and they're going to want to be able to grab it and make it accessible to them. So I think that that's a really important thing, is just to make your child's toys set up to be at their eye level. And something that goes hand in hand with the child's toy setup is toy rotation. I've said this so many times. Toy rotation. I think it's something so important, and it just makes sense for everyone is to basically have only a certain amount of toys. You can choose between 5 to 10 toys that you think that you want to put out at eye level for them. Set them out, and you can do it for about a week or two. It just really depends. Once you see your child like start kicking and throwing things, not really interested in trying to get into all the cupboards, and then okay, it's time to rotate these toys. But anyway, when you rotate 5 to 10 toys, number one, you're not overwhelming your child. When your child gets overwhelmed with the amount of toys that are out, they're not going to want to play with any of them. They're just going to roam around, not know what to do. And believe me, I know this because my son has done this. I've noticed it because I get so excited with some of the toys that I put out, and throughout the week, believe it or not, more and more toys start appearing on the setup. And then by the end of the week, he's just like, I don't want to play with any of this, and you definitely don't want that. And like, especially come Christmas time, like I let him open up all his toys, but immediately the next 2 days after, I put them all away, and I only kept 3 or 4 out. And I still have toys from Christmas that he still hasn't even played with. So I have 10 toys out. So those 10 toys are going to be played with. They're going to be appreciated. They're going to find new ways of playing with these toys. They're going to really study them and really use them for what they're useful for. So like, for example, I have this little birthday cake, right? And it's a 3-piece birthday wooden cake with candles on top. So at first he grabbed the little candles and he just threw them out. But then he started figuring out that these 3 pieces make a cake. So now what he does he grabs a cake and gives it to me, and he wants me to eat the cake. He's figured it out that that's a piece of food and that it's a birthday cake. So that toy has been out now for about 4 days. The first day he had no idea what the heck it was. The second day he looked at it again, took the candle off. The third day, and then it just went on from there to now he knows this is a birthday cake and it's for your birthday. So that toy was, I think, $1 or $2 at the Target, and it's one of his favorite toys. And had I had that, I'm not kidding, it's this size, the little cake. If I would have had that with 15 other toys, he wouldn't even have bothered looking at it. So that's just really the main reason why I think that it's so important for you to have your toys rotated every week. You can literally put them on the floor if you don't have any shelvings or small tables for your kid. Even better for them because they can see at eye level and they feel like they have a choice, and which is another thing that I'm telling you guys is really important for your kids. So the last thing that I want to tell you that I do in my son's every day is how much I include him in every single chore that I do. The only reason why I'm able to do this is because I'm home all day. I'm a part-time reseller, so I basically work all day, but I mean, it's not consistent like a 9 to 5 sitting on a computer kind of work. So whenever I do a chore, I have the patience and the time to include him in it. If you're working and you come home and you're dreadfully tired, and I completely understand that, just choose one. Just choose one chore. That way your child knows that one chore, that's something you both do together. And then later on, they're just gonna wanna do it themselves. I mean, who doesn't want a kid that loves doing chores, right? Well, you wanna definitely start young and just include them. When my son wants to feed the cats, he makes a mess. I mean, sometimes he doesn't, that's very rarely, but sometimes he wants to feed them, so he'll feed them, I let him feed them, and then I know right after I'm gonna have to sweep up. So I'll grab the broom, or sometimes he'll actually grab it for me. We'll start sweeping. I found this little hand broom, and he uses that hand broom, and then he'll start sweeping. Sometimes he's not even doing anything, but he thinks he's helping, and I cheer him on, and we do it together. When it's washing the dishes, I bought him a little fake sink that has running water with some batteries, and it has, it's running water, and you just use like 2 AA batteries, and then it has dishes and it has a brush. So he's washing dishes right beside me as I'm washing them too. Sometimes he won't even use that. He'll just hand me the dirty dishes and I'll wash them myself. Another thing is feeding the dogs outside. He feeds the dogs for me. Another thing is picking up the dog's poop out of the lawn. He helps me with that. He may not be doing it exactly the way you wanted to do it, but the fact that you're including him in that is just giving him that independence, that autonomy, that confidence. And another thing is, like, I think I mentioned this in my video before last, was that if you're a stay-at-home mom and you know you're with your kid all day, you're with your kid all day, but are you giving them 100% of your attention all day? Or are you trying to struggle and, you know, do all things at once on top of trying to give your child attention? Because that's really mostly what it is most of the time. My son used to feel like he had to fight for my attention, but now that I include him in everything, he feels like he's doing it with me. So when it comes time for him to play independently, when I tell him, look, I'm gonna start cooking dinner, you play here for 10 minutes, he's fine with that. He'll do it, and he makes his own little path, and he makes his little circle with all his toys, and he starts playing, and he gets it. So I think those are like some tips that I can give you that are free, no cost ways that you can incorporate the Montessori method in your everyday life. That's how I do it. Please let me know if you'd like more tips, and if you have any other suggestions for any other videos that you'd like to see. Again, thank you so much for coming back, and welcome if you're new. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, please. It helps me out so much. And then also don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I do have a personal Instagram, which I'll link here or just put on the screen. And I also have a reselling Instagram. So if you're interested in anything that I'm selling, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well, because I do have a reselling one, and I also have my Poshamrk, eBay, and Mercari linked on that. So, but other than that, I hope you guys found this video useful and use some of these tips. And it's getting really dark. The sun is already setting, and it's only 4:30. But anyways, thank you guys. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.